What's up, everybody? My name is Zach Pasquarello. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 common mistakes that bookkeepers make and how to avoid them. I make these videos so that I can teach you how to start your own bookkeeping business in less than 30 days with no experience. I know exactly how to do it because I did it 3 years ago, and I make these videos just so that I can share the lessons that I've learned so that you can learn from my mistakes, and I try to share my knowledge so that you can fast track to becoming a successful bookkeeping business owner. And if you want to schedule a meeting with me, there's actually a link in the description. You can schedule a one-on-one consultation with me. I would love to help you start your own bookkeeping business. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe because I make new videos like this every single day. Okay, let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right into this video. I'm going to talk about 5 common mistakes that I have made, and this way you won't make the same mistakes that I did. Okay, the first mistake is not keeping accurate records. This is a no-brainer. As a bookkeeper, this is pretty much your entire job. So you need to know 4 things about every transaction whenever you're categorizing them. You need to know the date, you need to know the account that the transaction came from, the amount of the transaction, and a brief description. These are 4 things that you absolutely cannot get wrong. You might need to take a little bit of extra time to double check your work, but the best thing about it, if you're using QuickBooks Online, you can connect your client's bank account directly to your bank feed. So QuickBooks is going to automatically pull in all of this information for you, the date, the bank account that it came from, the amount, and it'll actually pull in the bank details. QuickBooks makes it so easy for us to accurately do bookkeeping. However, as the bookkeeper, you still need to double check everything. So take your time whenever you're categorizing transactions and try not to make any mistakes. However, keep in mind that we are all humans. Sometimes mistakes will happen. Just be honest with your client. Admit that you made the mistake. Whatever you do, don't make the same mistake twice. That's crucial. Okay, the second mistake that bookkeepers make is not reconciling accounts. This is the most important step of bookkeeping. This happens at the end of every single month. You need to get the bank statements or the credit card statements from your clients, and when you're doing a reconciliation, it's so simple. Just check the balance in the QuickBooks account and compare it to the ending balance on the bank statement. The balances should match unless you have outstanding checks that haven't cleared the checking account yet. You need to reconcile your accounts. This is how you can make sure that no mistakes were made. Everything is 100% accurate. This is the most common step that bookkeepers and business owners miss whenever they're doing their bookkeeping. You gotta reconcile your accounts. Checking accounts, credit card accounts, loan accounts, everything needs to be reconciled at the end of every month. Okay, the third common mistake that bookkeepers make is not staying up to date with tax laws. So we are not CPAs, so you're not expected to know every single tax law, but you are the go-to for the business owner before they talk to their CPA. So it's really helpful if you know a little bit of the most up-to-date tax laws. This is going to separate you from the other bookkeeper that they had before, or from the office manager or the secretary. You are more than just an administrative assistant or a virtual assistant. You are a bookkeeping expert, and it's good to know a little bit of the tax laws. So some common questions that you should relatively know the answer to, or at least you should know how to get the answer. When is sales tax due? Are meals 100% deductible? How do I capture depreciation? These are common tax questions that you should know the answer to. And if you don't know the answer to, just be upfront, be honest with your client, and let them know that you don't know the answer right now, but you're going to do some research and you're going to get back to them tomorrow with the answer. Okay, the fourth mistake that bookkeepers make is forgetting anything. You're not allowed to forget anything because business owners are super busy and they're usually really bad at administrative tasks. So they rely on you to remember everything for them. A couple things as a bookkeeping business owner, especially as a business owner, you need to follow up with leads. So you can't forget about the people who want to hire you. You need to follow up with prospective clients and leads. And you can never forget to set up a particular bookkeeping task. Like if a client asks you to set up a new customer, or create an invoice, or create a new class, or start a new project in QuickBooks, like you cannot forget these things. And another thing you might forget is emailing a report. If a customer asks you for the balance sheet or the profit and loss statement or the project profitability for last month's project, like, you cannot forget to email these reports or set up these bookkeeping tasks or follow up with leads. Like, you can't forget to call people back or email them back. You have to remember everything. This is going to set you infinitely apart from every other bookkeeper. However, you are human and mistakes do happen, so just be honest if you forget something or own up to a mistake. In order to avoid that, come up with a system to remember things, whether you have a CRM software or you have pen and paper or you have an Excel spreadsheet or you have Google Calendar, whatever you're using, just come up with a system to help you remember tasks. I don't care if it's sticky notes on your window or if it's some advanced $500 software that you use. It doesn't matter what you're using, just come up with a system so that you never forget anything. This will set you apart from every other bookkeeper. Okay, the last common mistake that I see bookkeepers make is saying yes to everything. Especially if you're new, you want to appease your clients, you want to do everything for them, but you need to pick a niche. And I'm not talking about picking a niche like I only work with a certain type of industry. I'm talking about pick a niche for the services that you offer. That will enable you to become an expert. So if you pick a niche, you can focus on delivering those services and you can get really, really good at delivering those services. For example, I don't do payroll, I don't do taxes, I do bookkeeping. I categorize your transactions, I reconcile your accounts, and I generate your financial statements. I only do those three things. I have become really good at those things. I'm really fast, I'm really efficient, and I don't mess around with sales tax, I don't mess around with payroll, I don't try to I can file your taxes for you. I don't usually do it, but I'll make an exception, because what's going to happen is you're going to get overwhelmed and you're not going to know how to do it. You might make mistakes. You might make a potential client unhappy. They might leave you a bad Google review. You're like, oh my goodness, how did this happen? I was just trying to do him a favor, and now all of a sudden I've made somebody unhappy. He told all of his friends. He left me a 1-star review on Google. All of this could have been avoided if you just stayed focused on your niche and just focused on what you're good at. And trust me, if you don't want to do something, it's just so much easier to be honest up front, say no. That extra $100 or that extra $1,000 is not worth it if you don't know how to do it, you don't want to do it, you're not good at doing it. Just stay focused on what you're good at. And then the last thing I'm going to say, I didn't make a slide for this because honestly I forgot about it, but communication is so key. So a sixth common mistake that bookkeepers make and CPAs make is not communicating effectively with your clients. If you are able to respond to emails and answer your phone whenever prospective clients or current clients call you, that will instantly set you leaps and bounds ahead of almost every other CPA firm and bookkeeper out there. If you can simply communicate effectively with prospective clients or current clients, then they will probably be more likely to hire you. I can't even tell you how many times somebody's been like, okay, we're talking to you and we're also talking to 2 or 3 other bookkeepers. We'll get back to you at the end of the week to let you know if we want to work with you. I can't tell you how many times those people came back to me like, yeah, honestly, like Jane Doe and John Smith, like they didn't even respond to my emails. So I talked to one other guy and he didn't know what he was talking about. So we're going to go with you. Like, just by process of elimination, just by communicating effectively and remembering to follow up with your leads, you're going to get twice as many clients as the next guy. So remember these tips, remember these common mistakes, and avoid them in the beginning. This will set you up for success whenever you're starting your bookkeeping business.